welcome to episode 29 of I'm still doing it. It's not the Locked On Golf podcast of that range life, a show sometimes about golf. Kris, I saw you yesterday, but hey, it's great to see you again. How are you, man?
Hey, man, I'm good. Things are fine. Things are good. Everything's fine.
Yep, sure is. Right. So played some golf with you yesterday. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But you know, I can't
believe that was yesterday, man. That felt forever ago. I already miss you.
I miss you. I really do. It does feel forever ago, and I like sitting there going, "Oh, it was like a few days ago, right?" No, it was.
Yeah.
A little over 24 hours ago. Yeah.
It was yesterday morning.
Our nephew, J-Riv, we were just playing some of that golf. A lot happened today. I've been watching the hockey. I told my wife, I'm like, I'm so happy fun, with man. This. You're watching one game and another one starts an hour later, and then you finish that game, and then an hour later, another one starts. 2 hours later, another one starts. So much hockey to watch, and it's all been great.
Just a sports cornucopia. It's so good, so nice. We watched and we bridged basically golf to baseball to hockey, back to a little bit of golf.
Enjoy that.
Pretty great.
Enjoy that baseball while you can.
We're trying. Yeah. Again,
we'll get into the golf. But speaking of the golf, today was I love the whole split field thing because you had golf on Golf Channel in the morning. Then you had a break. Then you had not a break. Then you had golf on CBS. Yeah. Then you had golf, the LPGA's first tournament back on Golf Channel.
On Inverness. Yeah, on a great golf course.
Won by none only than Pepperdine's own Danielle King, a.k.a. Tommy's former classmate. And by classmate, they were at Pepperdine at the same time. That's about it. I think she was there for like a year.
Right.
Yeah, she won today. That was great. And then as soon as the PGA on CBS ended, went right into the Barracuda Championship. Well, actually, to be fair, LPGA ended in Golf Channel. Went right into the Barracuda Championship immediately following that. And I don't know if that's over who won that, and I should. That's bad. But and one of the catches there was Troy Merritt was the leader and said he'd wear the mic. So they're like, how did we get so lucky to have the leader of the tournament mic'd up? And I didn't watch any of it. Shame on me. But the fact is I could have if I wanted to. Right. All right. Anyway, let's dive right into it. Let's do some gear talk. All right. That was gear talk graphic. First thing we're going to talk about today is I haven't had anything on driverangeos.com about them in a while, but just got to it. The Bridgestone Tour B RX golf ball. Kris, let me tell you a little bit about the Tour B RX golf ball.
Yeah, please do.
This golf ball is designed to be a distance model ball, right? Nowadays, it's like, hey, do you buy a spin ball or a distance ball? This is a distance ball for the player with a driver swing speed of 105 miles an hour or less. Right out of the gate, okay. I want to be clear. Everybody's going to have their own personal preference. Everybody's going to be able to shoot better or worse with a golf ball that does or doesn't work for them, right? So let's just say that 105 miles an hour or less is a recommendation from Bridgestone. I think it is a fair one. But I actually do know of a guy who probably has a 120 mile an hour swing speed and he plays the ball. And I think the reason he does it is because he can compress the living daylights out of it. Now, in theory, this is the softer version of Bridgestone's Tour BX golf ball, which is their like fast swinger distance ball. Bryson played it. I think he still plays it.
Yep.
I don't know. Other people play it too. But it's a great ball. Oh, I play it.
I was going to say, I thought you played it. Yeah.
Well, as you know, and maybe we'll talk about it later, that may be switching soon.
Yeah.
We'll see. To be fair, another Bridgestone ball.
Right.
But anyway, so let's go off of that. The Tour BRX feels and plays very similar to the Tour BX, except just softer, right? It's going to, whereas a 100 mile an hour swinger might not be able to pop and compress the Tour BX enough, they will be
Yeah.
able to with the Tour BRX. At the same time, a faster swinger may find that it's like they've sort of maxed out the ball and can't put anything extra into it. Don't really know. I feel like I'm right on the border where that could be a problem for me, and maybe I'm not the best to tell you that, but at the same time, I can also be like, oh, I have control issues, and I start swinging slower and end down in that speed. So right on the border where I think I can make this ball, the Tour BRX, work. And I didn't ever feel like, oh, I'm maxing it out. I did think, yeah, I can spin it a bit, but here's the point of this year's line of Bridgestone balls, whatever model it is, you should be able to spin all of them. That's the whole thing. You don't have to choose distance or spin anymore. You get both with Bridgestone. Right. And that's because of this new reactive cover they're using, as you well know. I'm telling this to you like you don't know. I know you play the Bridgestone Tour B XS. Just like Tiger Woods.
That's my jam.
Ever heard of them?
That's my jam.
But so this reactive cover they're using is supposed to be what they call an impact modifier. And you can just
grabs the face a little bit.
Think of it like a shock absorber. If you hit it hard, it holds up more. It's as they say, it has more resilience. If you hit it soft and slower, it gets a little squishier for you and spins more. So the harder you hit it, the harder the ball will hold up. The softer you hit it, the softer the ball will seem, and you can get your spin and zip it around and do all those things. I would say that is a fair assessment with the Tour BRX. You can, if you're a zipper of the golf ball, no problem zipping this ball around it. But if you're like, hey, I don't want to spin like crazy off my driver and I still want to be able to pop it out there, great ball. So that is my assessment of it. It is a versatile ball. I wouldn't just say, oh, it's a swing, it's a high speed distance player's ball. Like, it's not. It is a good distance ball. I would say it's probably, well, maybe we'll talk about this in another show, but the Tour BRX, which is BRXS, that is the slower speed spin ball. I haven't hit it yet. It's probably, that one might not be good for me. We'll see. Or I should say might not be doable. But in theory, this one should be able to pop a little more than that ball. But you're not going to be like, this ball's too hard. I don't have the swing for it, and I want to be able to spin it still. I don't think you're going to have that issue at a slower speed. So I would sum it up. The mere mortal now has an elite level performing golf ball that can spin and can go long. Whereas before they're like, well, I'm a good player, but all these balls are made for the faster, better guys. I don't need the elite ball because they're just not made for me. So
that's a big deal, man. It's quite the combo.
So Tour BRX by Bridgestone. It's a good ball if you are a more moderate swinger, I would say for sure. Check it out. All right. Other part of Gear Talk today. A little bit more of a story, less of a review technical thing here, if you will. Please join me for this tale. Okay. So, for those that don't know, my gamer set of irons is a wonderful set of Miura CB-1007 irons. Japanese forged, just beautiful.
They are quite nice.
Oh, God, they're so good. Got them from my good friend, Chip Usher, of a little company called Usher Golf down in Savannah, Georgia. He also does Black Lab Golf, a small boutique putter company, which is easily one of the best deals on the market of custom putters. I have plenty of them back there. Great stuff. Anyway, he's been like the Miura guy in America for 20 years now. Back when, Miura is just this rumored to have made Tiger's irons, but stamped Titleist on them, company in Japan. Right. They weren't big here. He was like the first guy selling them here. So he's been in with those guys forever. Well, what this means, Chip's always got some Miura treasure hiding around that shop of his. Now I'm again talking about burying the lead. I just buried the lead again. So playing these Miura CB-1007s, and actually, when I'm not a total disaster like I am right now in my golf game, they're great. I hit them very well. I love them. They're great irons. Here's the problem. They don't make them anymore. And they haven't. They don't make. I think they don't make anything like them. In a lot of ways, Miura's making great stuff. I kind of feel like these are one of the last great Miura irons. That's probably not fair to say. It's just what I think. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So I went, man, my Miura CB-57s aren't going to last forever. And finding good condition to new sets is going to be impossible, right? Let me just go see what that market's like. So I go on eBay and I search for Miura CB-57s. And sure enough, I'm seeing like semi-used sets, decent shape, but definitely have hit some balls and have some wear. They're soft forged irons.
Sure.
Has some wear on the soles. $1,200.
Wow.
$1,500. Oh, here's a steal. Here's one for $850. You know what I'm like?
Man,
I'm not saying they're not worth it. I'm also not saying they are. I don't know. In the sense of it's very much a thing. Are they worth it to you?
Right. Anything's worth whatever you get,
whatever someone will pay for,
and whatever someone's going to pay for it. Right.
What I will tell you, no, they're not worth it to me. They can't do it. So as I'm looking though, I encounter a listing, and this whole story, if you want to read it and not just listen to me ramble on about it, this whole story can be found at driverangeheroes.com. It is our Tuesday blog of this barn find. I find an eBay listing for a set of Miura Giken CB-1007 irons. In the listing, in the title of the listing, you got to try to hook people in however you can. It also said CB-57. That's why it returned it to me. And I like, those look like CB-57s, but they look a little different. I'm going to remind people we've talked about it before. Miura Giken, back in the day before 8 a.m. bought North American distribution rights, Miura Giken was the Japan and South Korea only branding for the brand. And then in America, it was just Miura or Miura Golf.
Oh,
so
okay.
In theory, these irons were made for the Japanese, and the South Korean market.
Right.
So as I'm looking, I'm like, God, they do look a lot. And we'll put some pictures in this video here. I go, they do look a lot like CB-57s. What are these? Where did these come from? And in my head, I go, oh, I know where these came from. I know exactly what these are. And I just go down the eBay listing, and sure enough, there it is. It's my guy Chip at Usher Golf. All right. Chip, of course. He has all the old Miura gems. Well, all right. So I'll send Chip an email. I'm like, Chip, are these like the Japanese, South Korean versions of the CB-57? He goes, yeah, there's like slightly different cavity weighting. And then when you look at them side by side, it's very slightly different. It's about a little different. The leading edge is different. And otherwise, weighting, offset, profile, like, looks the same. Oh, all right. And I'll just put it this way. It was what I needed to hear. And I'm like, I need to get a set of those. He goes, gotcha. Here you go. And I went, wow. I didn't even know these existed. They're old, right? I want to say the CB-57 is like a 2015 or older iron. So if these were out at about the same time, they're that old as well. Brand new sets of them. Sets of them.
Shut up. That's awesome.
And I was like, all right, I need a set of those heads. Thanks. So I'll just say this. They're out there, and I can't believe it. I have them. And, of course, it's like, oh, you get them and you want to play them, but it's killing me because you've seen my irons. My irons now are just fine.
Yeah.
No need for these right now. They are literally sitting in a box in my basement on a shelf, just not to be touched.
Just gonna wait. Yeah.
So it's golf.
You'll know. When the time comes, you'll know, Bill.
Oh yeah. So
it'll just speak to you. They'll speak to you.
I was telling this story to the sub 70 boys when we played Kishwaukee National Golf, Tennis, and Polo Country Club.
Name dropper.
Yeah. And I was saying to them, like, guys, I hate to tell this to you. My game plan was my next set of irons was going to be one of yours. And then I found these heads. So that's extending my time without one. And the best was they're both like, Jay and Jason are both like, oh, absolutely. They're like, no, you should play those.
Right. That's the right decision. Yeah.
Like, keep playing your Miuras and then definitely play the second set of them first, for sure. And then Jason would be like, hey, can I try your Miuras? Like,
Yeah.
absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I literally, I've had, got to punch a mic twice a show. You and I have had this conversation. It was like, dude, I think when we're done, there are local guys. I actually really like the clubs. I'm going to get some 639 CBs, maybe CMBs. So it's going to be great.
100%.
And then I found these Miuras. I'm like, sorry. But anyway, super cool. And then on top of that, I went, hey, you know what? we're going to talk about a club as part of this. I'm getting a Tour Edge 4-wood. So I'm going to put another wedge in my bag. Do you have any good Miura gap wedges laying around that maybe I could get a good deal on? And he goes, oh, yeah. And again, just this like laundry list of Miura Giken gap wedges, lofts, everything, different models. And I go, Chip, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a huge golf dork. I have no idea what any of those are. So he explains in the meeting, he's like, basically they were what they would have sold as the gap wedge for the CB-1007.
Oh, in that set? Yeah.
Or like if you added one on. And
Right.
There's this one that has more bounce, this one less bounce. This one has a little like little higher center of gravity, lower center of gravity, different flights. And I'm like, all right, I'll take one of those. So that's the gap wedge I've been playing, and it's sure as hell been working for me. But once again, great. I mean, Miura, I don't know if there's a better iron in golf than Miura, and I'll listen to all the arguments from anybody who wants to make them, but the best Miura's made any Miura I hit's always been like the best iron I've ever hit. Now, to be fair, I've only hit a national custom iron once, and it was only an 8-iron. I've heard some pretty good things, so I will just say I don't know if they're better or worse, but I will omit them from that ruling I just gave.
Of those that you've hit, those are the best.
Yeah, every time.
Yeah,
Chris, I'm a golf guy. I've hit them all too, except national.
Right.
God, national stuff does look sick, by the way. But yeah, anyway, check them out. Go look at what my guy Chip Usher has at Usher Golf. He's always got something cool floating around. Always. Check it out.
It's crazy.
All right, Chris. That was Gear Talk. Hey, Chris, that was Gear Talk. How about it? Good Gear Talk this week.
That was good. You don't have to do that part of the transition. You could just say, okay, next topic.
No, that's the transition we use in our show, and you know it. For those that don't know, Chris and I like to do production meetings in our show.
That's true.
Not off mic. It wouldn't be the same otherwise. I kind of enjoy. I wish I had more. I love barn find stuff not for everything. Like for golf. Speaking of, I got some new barn finds back here. I wish like that was all my blog was like golf barn finds.
Bar finds. Yeah,
it would be super expensive. And I would run out of content so fast. I'd be like, check out this barn find. It's a Callaway Maverick Sub-Zero driver. What do you know? Tommy had a great barn find this week. It was a tailor-made sim driver. I don't know what to tell you. All right, anyway, let's move on to some golf topics that are current events. Hey, did you know Justin Thomas won the World Golf Championship?
It's true.
Whatever event, the WGC.
John Rahm's reign as number one player in the world was short-lived.
1 week.
Justin Thomas.
1
week old.
Now, we're recording this Sunday night just after this happened, and it's like I already tweeted along these lines, but you know this is going to happen. Who's going to have more interviews? Justin Thomas or fill-in caddy Jim Bones Mackay, I don't care.
Oh, right.
Bones.
I forgot about that. Yeah, he did carry the bag for JT, huh?
He did double duty carrying for Fitzpatrick last week and doing TV. Yeah. And I was thinking, like, what are the Golf Channel things? And I go, I bet you he has bonuses built in if you win as a caddy. We'll give you more money. Like, it couldn't be better press.
It's just cred, right? Sure.
For NBC Golf to have Bones double duting and then winning. So, and then on top of all of it, all right, he's gonna caddy for Justin the next 2 weeks, and He goes into the final round, Justin Thomas, paired with Phil.
With Phil, right.
At the St. Jude's Classic.
Yeah.
Oh, and as it turns out, this, I think it was 2016, this FedEx St. Jude Classic was the last tournament Bones and Phil did together.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
So there Justin Thomas was winning the tournament with temporary caddy Bones on his bag with Phil in his group. And it was like, oh, it's going to be uncomfortable. And I was like, well, according to when they split, it was mutual. And they're like, we've been like best friends for a long time. We're not going to fall out. And who knows? Maybe they don't talk to each other. It wouldn't surprise me if you found out Phil like never actually talks to him now. But by all accounts, Phil's there. It's not like they're strangers to each other.
Right. It wasn't. Yeah, I think it was. I mean, Bones needed to stop doing it full time,
and
because his knees weren't going to be able to do it. So.
They all knew, like, obviously the day was going to come if he's willing to come out of the booth and carry a bag. Like, they were going to cross, even on TV. He's on TV. Yeah. Phil's on TV. Right. Did you know that? They're going to cross paths. I'm not a Phil guy. Right. We've talked about this a few times. I love Phil, the golf culture troll Phil. Between the aviators, setting the coffee tumbler down on the green. And I know he was doing like it. He'll like, oh, it's his coffee company. It's for press. I don't care. It was awesome. Like,
right.
I'm sure Phil, like, is the douche that the anti-Phil guys push. I'm sure he is that. But right now, I don't care. You can be whatever you want when you're giving me gems like this. And we've said his social media. I think he did a great job of that. Social media and troll Phil. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I love it. And I hope tomorrow he posts something on social media to troll this. I hope he does. Yeah. So Bones navigates Justin Thomas around the final 18 holes actually it was all of them, but further navigates him around for the victory and reclaiming number one.
Yeah.
Pretty good storyline.
That's pretty great. It's pretty great.
I think he's not third time, but what was it the other week when we were like, oh, if Justin won, it would have been some record. Do you remember? I mean, we don't. We'll just move on. It's fine.
Yeah, it would have been, it was something about being the youngest to 7 wins since Tiger and Jack, I think. Something like that, right? It was something about being the youngest.
See, I thought it was like youngest with 3 wins in a season. But I feel like it's like, I don't know.
I don't remember.
Huge. Again, we're huge golf guys.
Not
huge golf guys.
I was too busy like living my life and playing golf rather than remember that stat from a whole week ago.
It was probably more than that, to be fair.
Probably, yeah.
One of the things that I didn't see it because I was, kids and flipping around and whatnot. And I was working on, I don't know if I've told you yet, but I've been scraping paint off of a wall and patching drywall. I don't know if I've told you. I might have been working on that at the time too, so I missed some of it. But apparently, JT on the back 9 was really struggling to keep it in play. I love that I call him JT. Yeah. Like, I'm a huge golf guy. I call him JT.
Yeah. We don't need to use his full name.
No.
Everyone knows.
We're like this.
Everyone watching this show knows. Right.
Yeah. Him, JT, Mr. Nicholas. I do all the golf terms. But apparently he was having a hard time navigating off the tee, if you will, for the back 9 coming in. And I forgot who it was already, but I saw on Twitter, someone was like, someone of note was like, I'll tell you what, if I'm playing for the win on the back 9 on Sunday and can't keep it on the tee or keep it in play off the tee and just struggling, I can't think of a better person to have on my bag than Bones, and how lucky that was today.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Thought that was I thought it, and I thought it was a sweet story. Just heartwarming. Good for all of them. I forgot what my wife said. I'm like, man, talk about stepping in and be like, hell yeah, that's a paycheck. And I go, you're right. And the best part is it's like, he's still living well enough. The paycheck's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Right. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, I get money for this? Great.
Yeah. Nice little payday.
More money for this?
Hey, You want to talk about PGA Championship first, or a round of golf we played yesterday that we already alluded to?
Let's talk here. Let's just do a quick PGA Championship. I just want to get we're huge golf guys. We should certainly discuss the first major of 2020. I mean, that's kind of the responsible thing to do.
Saw a big
considering.
Scoop. Saw a picture of Tiger hitting a shot on 16 with Joey next to him. I saw it.
He was there today.
Breaking news that someone else already broke.
Let's play a game called What Are the Odds? All right. I'll name a player. You give me the Vegas odds of them winning the PGA Championship.
I kind of like the idea of this game because it's
you don't know shit about
it's gonna be like so all over the place. It'll be like Nick Watney, and I'll be like, I'll take the under. And you're like, that's not what I asked you.
Hit me. No,
like,
Bill. No.
Just hit my desk. All right.
PGA Championship at Harding Park, TPC Harding Park, San Francisco, California.
I just said I was going to ask that's San Francisco, right?
Begins today. All right. I'm sure people are watching this to get ready to watch golf. They want to hear about golf, and we're a super golfy show.
As the show comes,
so naturally, the transition would be this show first into PGA Championship. Although it's California golf, which is great for us because we can screw around all day and then sit down and watch golf. Like in the evening, with dinner. So it's going to be pretty nice. Okay, let's start off with today's winner. Well, that's going to confuse people. Sunday's winner, the St. Jude Classic. What are the odds right now that Justin Thomas wins the PGA Championship?
Did the odds come out after today's tournament?
They were updated. They get updated by the minute.
Let me rephrase. Is your copy of the odds post-tournament victory?
Post-tournament, correct.
Justin Thomas minus.
Not minus. It's not a hockey game.
That's right.
It's
minus 2.5 goal differential. He's got to be one of the top favorites. He's got to be. And his major's a PGA Championship, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's only won one major, right?
Correct. And it was the PGA Championship. He and one other player are the most likely, according to the Vegas odds, of winning the PGA Championship.
I'm going to put him 100-1.
This is the best game we've ever played. We have to start doing this all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He's 10-1. He's 10-1.
I just feel like that's way too low.
But you have to remember, it's the whole field. Like everybody.
Golf probability there's no way.
But it's a likelihood. So if you put him against the whole field, the worst player, if there's 100-person field, would be 100-1.
It's only like 72.
Okay, all right. So he's 10-1. Who's the other player?
It can't be that good. And I'm like, wait a minute. You said it's one of two to be the favorites. I probably could have done some math there. This is why I wasn't good at tests.
This is the best. Glad we did this.
You have a word problem. You need to read the whole thing to answer the question, and you pay attention, right?
Oh, it's fantastic.
One train's going 80 miles an hour, the other train's coming at 40 miles an hour. When will they collide? And I'll be writing at the station. I'll be like, oh, the train A is arriving at the station 80 miles away in an hour. It's 80 miles an hour. And they're like, you didn't even, I gave you the second part of the question. I told you. Oh, sorry. Other player with 10-1 odds.
Yeah. Who's the other player that's the most favored to win the PGA Championship at Harding Park beginning today?
Rory.
That's a good guess, but it's wrong.
Brooks?
Yes.
Yeah, because he's, well, I guess actually he played pretty well coming into today, and he tends to be a major, especially the PGA Championship, right? For whatever reason, the dude plays better. cough the easy one. I saw another tweet today that is like, did Brooks purposely dump his shot on 18 into the water to motivate himself for next week? Right. And I was like, that kid is batshit crazy enough. He might have.
There are 3 players that are 14-1. Can you name 2 of them?
Rory.
That's 1.
Richard Fowler.
No.
I feel like he always gets a boost for the PGA Championship. I don't, and he was up there today, so I thought, that's what happens every PGA Championship. Oh, Ricky's playing okay. 2-1. I'm like, okay. He's never done it. All right, so Rory, I didn't get Ricky. Please tell me one of them's not Bryson.
One of them is Bryson.
Oh my God.
The other being the former number 1 player in the world, Jon Rahm.
They haven't crossed my mind. I feel like an idiot. Of course he's going to be up there. And he probably might be. I like his chances better than Bryson and Rory.
I agree. I think Jon Rahm's going to be a major winner for sure here. And it's going to be one of those, right? It's going to be the PGA or US Open, I feel like. Mm-hmm. I don't know that his game works well with the Open or the Master or Augusta. I just don't know. But that's just me. Where's your favorite player on the tour? Well, Ricky, by the way, is 30-1.
It's not terrible.
Your favorite. Your favorite. That's pretty good odds. I mean, that's pretty good. I would take that bet.
Make you a few pennies, right? If he were to win.
Your favorite player on the tour.
Let me guess.
The most elite player on the tour, according to
how many players are
filtered?
How many? Wait, what? He said that?
No, I don't. He asked the question.
And I said, and I probably answered it, and I already forgot. How many players are in the field? Do you have an easy way to? There's probably less than 200.
Yeah.
His odds 365-1.
Webb Simpson is above Ricky Fowler. He's more likely to win than Ricky Fowler. And he's also more likely to win than one Tiger Woods.
Oh, never mind. I thought we were talking about my actual favorite player on tour, by the way.
Oh, no. I was talking about the elite
Webb Simpson. He won a US Open.
He
not a PGA Championship. So what do they have him at, like 25-ish? Or did
25-1.
Did you say that? And I didn't even realize you said it.
I think I did. Yeah. Who's your favorite player on the tour? Yeah, that's right. Mr. Poulter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not on my list. He's not on here, but that's probably true. He's probably last amongst the group.
And then it'll be like, he'll still be like, he'll finish 12th or something. And it'll be like, oh, it turns out he's still relevant, but he has terrible odds because of all the tournaments he should win and doesn't.
Right. He'll shoot like 7 under on Thursday, and we'll be like, "Uh-oh, here he comes. Is this the one?" And then he'll finish even for the tournament on Sunday.
I think he's had I feel like he's had 2 36-hole leads, maybe 3 in the 2019-2020 season.
Yeah.
3 36-hole leads. Now,
he was leading after Friday at in South Carolina, right, at Hilton Head.
Yep.
Wasn't he going into the weekend leading? Yeah.
I can't remember what the other two were.
But you're right. There were a couple other tournaments where he was playing really well.
If he wasn't leading, he was close to it. And I can't wait. Somebody like, hey, you see my numbers, guy. Clearly, go ahead and check my stats. Anything else interesting related to contenders and fanless PGA Championships?
I feel like I'm not a big like gambler or anything, but if I were, let me get your thoughts about this one. Tony Finau at 40-1. He's been playing pretty well. He's got it in him.
But he chokes.
I think that might. Yeah, but he does. But like at some point, maybe he'll come through. You bet $5, you win 200. Like that's.
Yeah, he's got the deal. Well, yeah, that I mean, for your odds, do it.
That's what I'm saying.
But right. I guess I'm saying like how realistic of a shot is where I'm coming from, and I mean, shows I'm a huge gambler. Like I'm not just having the odds conversation. Like worth.
You're gonna start using logic with gambling.
It's not a worth the investment conversation. It's like, do I think Tony Finau has a chance, Mr. Curse of the Barracuda?
Right.
Yeah. Did you see that video? A picture Paulina posted this week, and it was Tony Finau, Dustin Johnson, and Austin Johnson playing basketball in the backyard of wherever they were staying. And I texted Tommy and I'm like, God, I mean, one has to think as athletic as Dustin is, Austin probably isn't far behind as an athlete.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the athleticism in that household right now? And even with Paulina,
right?
Like, she's an athlete.
For sure.
Actually, she's like documented a decent athlete in the past. Yeah. Man, there's a lot of making you feel inferior as a human happening in that house to this week. And then
that's the end of What Are the Odds?
What are the odds? That's the new segment. We're going to play a new segment called What Are the Odds? Added to the show production meeting note 2. I was going to ask anything about Phil. Did you catch at all today in the golf broadcast that there was something like, if Phil didn't make the field this week, rather than go play in the Barracuda, he was going to go play in the Champions event. But then there was like some one-time special exemption if you were outside the top 50 or something like that. You could get in, so he got into this field. But he's like, he didn't feel like he felt like he'd have a better preparation for the PGA Championship playing on the senior tour than he would if he went and played Stableford at the Barracuda. And I was like, troll game. And it's not even it's not even a troll. But it unintentionally is.
Right.
God, Phil,
By the way, I think Phil, did they say Phil was he's the first 50-year-old to finish like top 10 in WGC or something? Or was it, there was some Phil stat about being 50. I mean, they're going to happen like every week now, but
I could see him being the first major winner since like 1882 over 50. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, now that's not likely, but would it surprise you in the least if Phil Mickelson won a PGA Championship?
Nope. Not even a little.
Or a Masters?
Nope. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Nope. You look at these older...
That dude's going to catch lightning in a bottle one more time for sure, I think.
When you do see these guys on the senior tour, they're still piping the ball, but like they definitely don't have it like they used to, kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. Bernard Langer is a good example. I feel like he comes out and makes everybody go in the first few days of the Masters like, holy shit, this guy could show up and do it. And he's won it here before, but then fizzles out. And
Freddie's done it too.
Yeah. You can't tell me Phil Mickelson. I was going to say Fred Mickelson. Start calling him that. You can't tell me Phil Mickelson, the way he still hits the ball, couldn't show up to Augusta in November or April and go, oh, what do you know? I just won the Masters. Absolutely could.
Yeah.
God
I agree.
God bless the troll. Let's discuss our round of golf we played Saturday, 4 days ago as we're recording it.
That's right. Let's do it.
So you and Jay were like, hey, do you want to play super early? And I said, yep. On Saturday at Chevy Chase Country Club, where you have played recently. And I was like, yeah, sure. I haven't been out there a while. And I remember the things I said about it. And I want to go on record of saying everything I said about it still holds true in terms of nice little green complexes. They were real quick at the beginning, slowed down a lot, but like the rest of that course needs a little TLC.
It's really interesting. I was telling Josh, I think after the round or later on, your perspective, because of your knowledge of the architect and how it impacted your thoughts on the course compared to mine and his.
It was
which is really interesting.
Well, first
it's a good golf course. I think it's a good golf course.
It's okay. I didn't know that though. But to be fair, my sentiments didn't really change because I only found that out the night before the day, like the morning of. I didn't know who the first original architect was. Until I did some math. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a 1925 course, Chicagoland area,
Mhm.
the whole mob connection, like it's historic, and is a popular place, which means it was private, and it has a
Yep.
huge clubhouse. So that means like this place,
Beautiful clubhouse. You were right about the clubhouse. Like just a gorgeous clubhouse.
yeah, this place is a to-do. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it had to be built by someone I've like a name, even just from being around Chicago and courses,
Mhm.
a name I have to recognize. So I go and look it up, then go look up history on the course the night before, the day, I can't even remember. And sure enough, in as many weeks, it is the second Tom Bendelow design I ran into from the early 1900s in Chicagoland area, destroyed by Bob Lohman. Bob Lohman just got his fingers from 1970 something or 80 something to early 2000s, just in every old course in this area he possibly could. And it's like, I got it, everybody, just broke it. So I didn't think, one thing I'll say about this place, they do such a good, I mean, you're playing a lot of holes with just a bunch of dead spots in the fairways. The bunkers are like, there's not a single bunker out there that's interesting, which is fine. It's a
Yeah, that's true.
moderate.
I'll take that. I'll agree to that.
It's a moderately priced public course in Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine those were part of the big renovation. Now, in 2002, they renovated it. I have no idea what the original course looked like. So to be fair, I don't know. Bob Lohman ruined it, but I feel like in the good handful of Tom Bendelow courses I've played, he very much has a like certain features to varying degrees. Like he loves a big, like he'll have one fairway that just goes like this, right? That just hard slope down. There's none of that out there. And people go, oh, what about the land? I'm like, dude, in Chicago, these guys were great at digging up dirt and making.
There's the one par 5 kind of had that bit of a slope. I think it was the third hole.
I don't mean it. I mean this how it sounds. I will show you one, and you'll be like, oh, I got it. And there's like, we'll go get Josh to take you out to Crete and go to Lincoln Oaks. You'll see it. That's so far. It is. It's not like
there was another. He wanted me to go to. What did he say? There's a golf course that he threw my way.
Balmoral.
We were talking about next week. No, it was next week. It wasn't Balmoral.
Oh,
because I was like, God damn, dude, that's a fucking hour away.
He's real worked up about Balmoral being a gem now, and by all accounts, I've heard that, so I can't criticize it without seeing it for myself. Let me see it. I'll criticize it. But yeah, there's Lincolnshire Country Club used to be, and this was I was telling you about. It used to be 2 courses, and then they sold off the one and went public. Yeah. And way back in the day, they hosted a U.S. Open qualifier there, and the guy who qualified through their course ended up winning the U.S. Open. Don't remember the year. I want to say it was like 76 or something.
That's such an awesome story.
It's an old Bendelow course, like 1908, something like that, 1912, 11, I don't know. And it doesn't have the money. I don't want to say it's lost to time, and people have gotten their hands on it. I'm sure Lohman's probably gone and done something to it, but you can see features in it where you're like, yeah, I see that in a lot of Bendelow courses I go to. I don't feel like this place had any of it. Maybe it does. But I'm on that. Yeah. I told you, I'm on a mission now. I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out what the original course was like and get to the bottom of this. One thing I give that place a ton of credit for, though, like, man, the weddings there are probably sick. That huge clubhouse and like just that whole outdoor area
is awesome.
And
for sure.
God, think of how sweet that place was. So like in World War II era.
That's what I really enjoyed playing golf with you, Mister. Was we were standing on a tee box. I think we all hit left OB. Mm-hmm. you know which one I'm talking about, right? And you just took a moment and said, like, now think about this. Whatever. It's. God, I mean, 100 years ago, right? I
think I said in the 1930s.
Yeah, think about this in the 1930s, and there was nothing over here, like, because right now it's lined with apartments or condos or whatever,
business parks,
and just think about how wide open this would have looked and been, and like there would have been no tree lines, and that's the kind of stuff that I don't necessarily think of when I'm playing. I'm just thinking about what's in front of me, but I like that. that's a cool way to think about things, especially when you're playing these older courses. When
and we have so many.
I just don't think about that. Yeah, we do have so many. Yeah.
Do you know what kills me? We have so many of them, and I mean, there are probably in this area 100 more that didn't survive past 1970, 1965. You know, Westward Ho in Oak Park, where Langford was like shot into the world of architecture, doesn't even exist anymore.
It's crazy.
And hasn't existed for 50 years. But I think like I wait for the like Friday guys and stuff to be like, oh, this guy, he's not an architect. I'm like, it's not what I'm saying. It's like, put yourself back in cultural history when you go to these places, knowing they're that old, and be like, what did 1930 Wheeling, Illinois look like? What did 1920 Oak Park River Forest look like? You can't, like, that to me is like, what was this experience like culturally back in that time? And yeah, I mean, I might get into like, this is not a feature you'd see, you know, you don't see any Bendelow features here. Like, okay, there are people who could talk me, you know, in circles with that. I admit it, but I feel like the fun in it is gaining the like culturally what has changed, and what, like I say with Chicago Golf Club, you walk into it and it's like in a living antique. All of a sudden you feel like you stepped into 1900. Whereas I walk into Chevy Chase Country Club, I sure as shit do not feel like I stepped back into 1925.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I kind of liked about Lawsonia too, right? It's like Lawsonia, despite its, you know, kind of humble, even the, you know, we talked about the snack shack at the turn or whatever, and there isn't a lot there to offer, right? But like, it's kind of just a step back into time. You're like, yeah, it's like, this is how it's been.
You get you get off on either course, but especially the actual old one. You're like, yeah, I'm in the farmlands of Wisconsin with a couple houses over there. Like, yeah, I know, cool. And I will get my favorite was, what is it, off of that second hole? It's open, like just wide open to the street with water in between you and the street. And then across the street is that giant, probably 2005 red brick and glass.
That was on
office
2.
building,
that's on 2.
and it's huge. And I go, and it's got the big like water management area in front of it that they say is you know, like a sitting pond. And I'm like, guys, over there, what people forget is that's the original clubhouse from 1925 before they rerouted the course. And that like water right there, they actually dammed it up, so it was like, that was like their pool or what they swam in at the country club. And Josh going, you know, that building was built like 2 years ago or something, right? Like, that's a new building. And I go,
it's the best.
No, it's the original clubhouse. And he's like, okay. And I literally looked at you, and I think you caught it, because then that's where my comment came from. But the look you gave me, I'm like, this kid doesn't know I'm kidding.
He doesn't.
And if he watches this right now, he's going to text us and say he knew.
Like, I knew.
And I expect this one time you to get my back that no, he did not know.
No, he missed the joke. He took you literally.
I was so happy. Literally. I was so happy he did. I'm like, yes, landed. Original.
Isn't that when he explained the joke to you that you made? That he explained the joke that you made to you.
Yeah, that was it. Oh man,
always
awesome.
A sign that the person got the joke.
Right.
They're talking through it with the person.
I like so badly though. Wish I didn't say though I was making the joke and just sort of win on that. And so the video has it, and then they're like, might have to edit all of that out so I can go back and be like, people don't know that's the original clubhouse. And then when Lohman came in, he changed where it started and they built the new one. Right. You mean the new one that looks like it's 100 years old and where mobsters hung out?
I wish on the course you would have stuck to it. Like, no, Josh, that's the original clubhouse, and just held your ground.
Next time you come over, man, I'll get
that's the original.
I'll get my guide to Bendelow courses of the early 1900s in Chicago, and I'll show you.
Right. So you're going to see this postmodern clubhouse with brick and green windows from 1925.
And on top of that joke, you hear me say that book, you're like, oh, can I see that book sometime? But God, Kris, you were with me until the book.
Oh man, you got a book? Sweet.
So the thing I have to give that place a ton of credit for, I think you said this last time. It does need a little tree work.
Yeah, it does need a little tree work. Not a
They,
lot, just a little bit, but
yeah,
you know.
I don't think the course is ultimately that great. It's not bad. It's fine. But as I said, I'm sure weddings and stuff there are killer. We didn't even see we haven't even really seen the full clubhouse because even when I went there like 10 years ago, I didn't like meander through it. And it'd be, it'd be fun to like get in good with a pro or somebody and be like, hey, give me the tour. Like the historic version of the tour, or give me someone who does know it and tell me. They do such a good job though. Anytime, whether it's making the turn 18, but anytime your focus is going like that to the clubhouse, they paint that picture perfectly.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
18 with the water and the fountains. Yep. 9.
Yeah. And 9 hitting over that pond into, that par 3, you're looking right at it. It's true.
Could do without the maintenance shack that's like right there. But
same.
But
and
even
that tree doesn't need to be there either.
No, but the tree I think is almost dividing it, because even at 9, you're almost like going into the corner of the property.
Right.
They're like, you're not even looking over at the clubhouse. But then when you start going over to 10, which brings you like back toward the clubhouse, it just sets up beautifully with the practice green and everything. They do a fantastic job of giving you that view, that vista.
That's true.
So hats off to them.
Yeah, and I'll say this about the course: it does, it needs a little bit of TLC, like you mentioned. But every time I've played there, I've never had pace of play issue. The greens are pretty. I mean, the greens and the fairways, for the most part, I know there were some dead spots. I know they're doing some work on 18.
I'll give you greens. I won't accept the fairway thing. They were so bad in so many places. But
really, I don't. Where? I know there were 2 spots for sure. There's 18 and there's 2. I'm trying to think of any other dead spots. There was one other. There was one other. You're right. There was one other fairway that I found myself in a dead spot, but I'm going to guess that they were doing work on it and give them a pass, because usually it's overall for $56 to walk in Chicago, in the Chicagoland area. It's a pretty good value, and I think it's a decent golf course. Like if that was in my rotation of 10 golf courses, I'd be okay with that.
You fix those fairway spots and I'll accept, but I'm not accepting until then.
I don't like the one par 5 that you cannot, there's no way you're going for it at any point ever, unless you're hitting a 350-yard drive.
Right.
That's the one that cuts through and it's got like the peninsula green.
Yeah. I believe that's where all my club hospital issues began. Yeah.
That's when we crossed the bridge and you're like, that's my ball. That's my ball. That's my ball. Just pointed to all the balls in the creek.
Yeah. And then I'm like, hang on, remind me next hole to switch out my driver shaft. I think this one might be about to break. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I had a couple clubs following that round. Have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I have to go do some work.
Now I'm waiting. Let's just say I'm waiting for parts. Nothing's broken, but I'm like, all right, I'm going to rebuild this and do it different. I just need some parts. It's a good time. And, hey, credit to your point about pace of play. I said, I think it was a 6th hole it's like the 6th hole. And it was
early. Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I got to tell you, pace kind of sucks. Like, we're not really waiting. I'm like, the guy's in front of us a couple times, but it's not been terrible. The pace has just been brutal. We've only played 6 holes in like an hour and 40 minutes or something. And it was like someone snapped their fingers and the dam opened up and all of a sudden we were just hauling. Like, I think we finished a round in a hair under 4 hours, right? Like maybe 3:45, 3:50.
Something like that. Yeah. Well, what happened too is that the 3 of us got our shit together collectively and started playing golf.
That's what we should have been talking about. Who gives a shit about the course and golf course guys?
Right.
Comment coming out of that round of golf. Yeah, well, and I'm not accepting this from either of you. Like, I shot mid 80s. I was fine with that. I'm like, not with the way today went. It was ugly on all of it. I'm like, put it this way. Let me explain what happened today. If we were playing a scramble, we wouldn't even be the top half of the leaderboard.
That's true. That's true. We all hit bad shots together.
Those two thin, longish par fours right up against the property border. We have nowhere to miss. And that's the one where we both ripped them out of bounds and then feed them into the
so
trees.
Hard too.
Yeah,
like, there was never even a chance any of those were going to stay. It wasn't like almost in and then bounced out. Like, no, man, we hit that ball. We each hit our balls to like left center field off the tee.
You and Josh play every weekend. Josh might sneak out during the week. I don't. We are in quote unquote internet golf media. We would.
Hey, you got the good handicap out of the three of us. You got the best handicap out of the three of us, mister. Don't put that on us.
We could not have been in the top half of a board in a scramble with the way we were playing.
All right, here's what we should do. We should play a scramble together on Chevy Chase. And see what we end up with.
Not an actual like tournament that we enter. Like no we're gonna go out there and be like, are you guys playing a scramble with just the three of you? Yeah.
We're doing it. We'll do it for the content. It'll be a driving range, or it'll be a that range life production.
It'd be so.
We'll go out and we'll do it. Except you and I use the vintage. Josh uses all of his Cobra gear.
That would be good.
We play our vintage.
That would be good, but I feel like it's so bad we should just do it with modern. Like, we're bad enough with the modern gear.
I'm fine with that too.
And just be like, all right, well, none of us got off the tee in a scramble. We're hitting 3. Everybody tee it up again.
That's it. We're gonna do it.
All right, guys. I'm going for the green 407 yards away.
That's right. And that range life production, Bill, Kris, and Riv try to break par on Chevy Chase as a scramble.
And then I can just see us recording the show and be like, plus 9, everybody. Plus 9.
36 putts, ladies and gentlemen. 5 penalties.
And 14 lost balls.
Right.
Myself alone.
It'll make for a good video.
All right. Well, that's something to look forward to. Stay tuned for those killer, see how the killer odds of the PGA Championship play out. And we'll see you guys next week. Kris, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you later, bud.
All right, man. See you.
Bye, everyone.